Anybody there? Hi, Lloyd Baker. And Winston and I are fans. Hey, Judy. Good picture. Say something, Tom. I'm working. This is my first live. I'm trying to get the feel how to do this. I've got my iPad down here, and it's only showing the chat, but it's not showing the picture. So we're kind of having to do a little bit of a jump back and forth. I do have my microphone on, so hopefully that'll cut back on the wind noise. I'm out here underneath this ironwood tree back behind the bus, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm waiting to see if you can see this or not, but my iPad is not catching up with my video part. So I'm trying to see what's on here and trying to read on this little bitty screen. It's just about this big for the chat, but down here on the iPad, I can see it better. So I'll be looking back and forth. You can see and hear me fine. That's great. Like I said, this is my first time, so I just wanted just to jump on here and say hi to everybody and see how this actually works. So this is my first go around, and see what else is on here. Let's see. That's why nobody's on here yet, because I haven't announced it. I just got back from my picking up my mail, as Zen and I did, and he's under the bus, laying down in his shade hole, cooling off. He's got an issue with his paw right now, so I'm waiting to see what's happening with that. He started limping on the way back from the on the way down to getting my mail, and then he started limping all the way back. So I think it's in his shoulder, but we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I just want to jump on here and see. Beautiful day today out here in the desert. It's about, I don't know, 80 degrees again. Hey, I don't want to brag, but it's pretty nice. It's almost getting too warm, especially for Zen. He's really having struggles on his walking, and he's panting and different things, but we'll get it figured out here. So we'll get this thing figured out. I may put my phone up on the phone holder. I'm holding it in my hand right now, but I can see everything. Anybody can hear me fine, you said? Yep, we can see and hear you just fine. Okay, thanks, Judy. Let's see. Brian, I'm trying to get a little closer here. Oh, Brian McClure. Is that what it says here? Yep, good sound and good picture quality. Well, thank you. Thank you, Brian. Um, nice surprise. Thanks for the live. You're very welcome. Like I said, this is my first one, so I'm going to see how this does. I got to kind of, you know, I saw a Lady Ferns was doing theirs the other day, and they did their first official live, and it went pretty well. They were on for almost 2 hours, and they were there till sunset, just about. Uh, all right now, thank you. Hey, looking and sounding good. Thank you. All right now, 3653. Yep. Oh, let's see. Judy says left Quartzsite last week in Lake Havasu now. Sorry we didn't get to meet. Well, I'll be down here every season, so come find me. Me and Zen. And I'll probably working my way up that way, April, but I'm not for sure when we're going to be leaving this area down here. It just depends on the weather. You know, if it gets too hot, Zen and I are going to go to higher temperatures, a higher altitude, lower temperatures. Let's get that right. So yeah, I just wanted to see how everything was doing on here. Got my iced tea out here in my red glass, my old faded red Coca-Cola pizza glass. Ooh, that's working good. Yep. Yeah, I got my mail. Picked up. It's that time of year, tax season. You know, I had to go get my tax forms for my work in Utah, and found out they took out about a third of what I made. So for taxes, it wasn't common, but we'll get that turned in pretty soon. Let's see what else we got. Anybody else come up on yet? Yeah, it was a nice surprise. Yeah, Lloyd Baker. Yeah, like I said, just to jump on here, give it a whirl and see if it works. It seems like it's going to work. That's the whole key of this. Make sure this thing works. Let's see what else is on here. What time is it now? Anyway, 3:13. It's 3:13 here in Arizona. Arizona has weird times, as you've heard, because we're half the year we're on Pacific time, the other half we're on Mountain time. Lori says, how's the Mr. Zen doing in his cart training? The last video is all I've done with him when he got in and sat down, and I think he's going to go for it because today, even when, like I said, when we walked to get the mail, he was sort of limping. I think if he would have been in the cart, he wouldn't have been limping, and he may realize that he needs to be driven around for a while. So we'll see what happens. But he's going to do it eventually. I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll get him in there and we'll get him on video, and hopefully he'll just sit there and we'll take off. I did get my last piece of the um, cart construction today in the mail. So I'm going to put, what I'm doing is putting a rubber band, metal band over the top of the plywood all the way around, so it won't have any exposed wood. So if he tries to jump out, he won't hit the wood, or if it water won't get in there either. If we get to a place where it's going to rain, but down here, I don't have to worry about it raining any. There's not a cloud in the sky again. It's a desert. Yeah, I'm excited to get him in the cart training and see what happens. Oh, let's see. Brian McClure, we're finally thawing out here in Missouri. How's the weather where I'm at? Well, Brian, let's look around here. Sunshine, no clouds, and about, I'm going to say close to 80 degrees. And it's about time for some shorts again. You have to have pants in the morning because it's like in the 40s, but then you get up to around 80. And then, as soon as the sun drops down, the temperature, you feel it just drop down 3 or 4 or 5 degrees in just a matter of a few minutes. But it's turning warm. There wasn't much of a winter out here. We had a few days of mid 30s, a few evenings, and then after that, that was it. So kind of unusual. I think the whole country was in an unusual weather pattern this year. The east side got hammered with ice and snow and still lingering around. So, yep. Yeah, Brian, you're from Missouri. I'm originally from Arkansas, so I know about that winter thawing there because I think Arkansas still has their snow on the ground at this time too. Let's see. Oh, hi from Seattle. There it is. I've got a delay between here and my iPad, so I've got to see what's going on. I can see the iPad better. From Ant Bling's Grateful Life. Oh, there you go. And Mike, hi, TomandZen. Yeah, Zen's not here. Like I said, he's under the bus. I don't know if I can change this camera around to the other side. I think I can. Hold on a second. Let me try this and see what happens. Hey, there it is. He is, there's Zen back under the bus. As soon as we got back from our walk, he just jumped right under there and laid right down in his dirt hole. So, but he'll pop out later on. Let me put this down. I'll walk over to him now that I know, see how this thing works. Oh, let's see here. Wonder if I can turn. There he is. Oops, sorry about that. There's the star of the show. If I can turn it that way, will it change different orientation? Locked. Nope. It's got only goes one way, so I'll have to figure how that works too. But there he is. He's resting under his walk. He's got too much fur on for him to walk in this 80-degree weather back and forth for 4 or 5 miles. But we tried to do that in the morning, but I had to get mail. But yeah, here's the weather outside. 23 degrees here in Fargo. You're getting a heat wave of 23 degrees in Fargo, that's for sure. Yep, I got to figure out how all this works. Let's see. Yep, anyway, we'll flip it back around so you can see my ugly face. There it is. Let me see if we can put this camera down here on the stand. There it goes. There you are. I think that might work. I don't know. I said, bear with me while I try to figure out these logistics of everything. Here's the chair. There you go. Oh, let's see what that does. All right. There we go. I can see everybody again. You probably like it when I was closer, but at least I can read what's going on here. Oop. What have I got here going on? We're connecting. We lost our signal for a second. So bear with me. I might have to get, okay, here it is. Judy, Winston is a complete opposite of Zen. He is a Burmese mountain dog, black and basically party in a fur coat. Well, I know about the fur coats, and the Burmese mountain dogs do like the snow also, for sure. But he's pretty. Zen's always been pretty calm, so he's not too much of a party. He's just a white coat that likes to leave his fur coat everywhere he goes. So let me move this. Hey, from Silver City, New Mexico. Hi, Mr. Ed. I'll get this a little closer here. Let me move around. I might have to move myself back in the shade a little bit more here. I'm getting kind of a sunshine. And my iPad keeps going crazy things. This iPad has always been weird. It shuts itself off and turns it back on, and let's see what it does here. Oh, is that better? I'll get a little closer. Here we go. There we go. Now you guys can see me in that. Let me see what my iPad's doing here. There you go. There, like I said, there's my iPad. This thing is, I don't know, 10 years old, and it was refurbished when I got it, so it's kind of interesting. Now, let's see what's it doing. It still hasn't updated my picture from earlier. That's what I signed on with, and that's what's still on here. So, oh, let's see. I got to figure out how to do this because I'm losing. Oh, hi, TomandZen from Elaine and Les in Scotland. Hello to the Scots in Scotland. Haven't heard from you guys since Spruce's Campground. How you doing? How you doing over there in Scotland? Nice and, is it snowy, cold, rainy? What's going on there? Let's see. Like I said, I can't really tell what the rest of this is here. Hold on a second. My screen on the iPad has shifted over, so I'm lost half of my words. So I don't know what to do with that. Oh, now we got a full screen. Like I said, bear with me while I try to figure out how to work this thing. And I'm on the very edge of my internet system. I'm only about 20 feet from the bus, but it's kind of losing some of its signal. I may have to just ditch this thing and go continue with the phone. I need to talk to Lady Ferns too and see what they use. I think they use the GoPro and they also use the phone because they were looking at the screen while the other screen was still, you know, as you get older, we need, us old folks need bigger letters. And right now, I don't know what's doing. I got nothing on my iPad. Here, let's see. That's interesting. Oh, now I can't open up the screen. Let's go back here and see what we got. This iPad, like I said, it's not figuring out. It says, Rock and Roll, Oregon, you got a sticker. Hey, congratulations. I'm going to get new stickers made too. I'm just about to run out of my old ones, so I'm going to have to bump up and get some new stickers. I'm thinking of making a sticker with just Zen on it, and maybe the profile pictures on the YouTube, just see what happens with that. But I'm still working on it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my iPad has lost its signal. Anyway, we'll go back with this. Get a little closer. You see my face a little faster. Say, very wet in Scotland, and now it's been raining for weeks. Looking forward to getting over to Arizona in April. Yeah, your guys are coming over to, you said Yellowstone this year, I believe. So let's see what happens with that. And good luck on everything, getting over here and getting all that going. Hello from Tennessee. How's the weather in Tennessee? You got ice there? I bet you do. You probably had some snow and ice in Tennessee. Let's see. Can I be a moderator? Rock and roll, Oregon. If I knew what I was doing, I'd make you one, but I had to figure out how to do that. Like I said, it's my first time, so I don't know what I'm doing with this or how that's done. Um, so let me do some figuring, and we'll catch moderators up on the next one because that way I'll be able to, like I said, check in with Lady Ferns and ask them. They're going to give me some pointers on what I'm doing here. Oh, here we go. Now I'm back to screen on here again. This is crazy thing. Let's see. If I missed anything, let's see. Okay. Ant Blank's ready for full life. Have you been practicing with your drone much? Not really. I did a couple little things on it. I got another review video coming up of a scooter, and I did some drone footage on that. Not that's about all I've done. It's been kind of windy in that little drone. Just just does this, and it's really hard on the. It doesn't weigh anything, so I can't do a whole lot with it down here. But and I'm trying to not to do a lot of drone footage because some kind of people messes everything up. Like, oh, quit putting so much drone footage out. But I like to see things from above, looking down. It gives you a better view on everything. Let's see what else we got here. It says, Paul Haywood says hi. Hey, hey, hey. In your Rock and Roll Oregon, we got you guys. Hey, and Tennessee. Sooner Travels. Hey, Sooner Travels. I saw you guys. Y'all saw Sooner Travels over on the Lady Ferns channel. You're from Oklahoma, I understand. Let's see. Can I be a moderator? Oop, go over we go. Let's see what we got here. Sooner Travels, yeah, nice to see you live. Like my first one, I'm trying to figure it out. So you're gonna see me doing everything. And it's hi Tom from Portugal. Wow, hey Portugal. We're in the middle of the world's worst storm in 900 years of history. That's a lot of history. Is it is it like rainstorm or what's going on in Portugal right now? I'll never understand how you guys can get used to weather in the U.S. Around here, you don't get used to weather. You just wait because it'll change in about 30 minutes. It really changes quickly around here. Um, yep, Brian McClure, but give Tom the thumbs up for my first live. There you go. Give me a thumbs up because, like I said, it's my inaugural charge at it and see what happens. So we're getting there. Hi, Tom from Napa Valley. How Napa Valley in California? You're not too far away from here. I'm just 20 miles from California. Whole TomandZen's friends. Yep, yep. Traveling Whitcombs. Hope you're all doing fine. Hope everybody is doing fine today. I hope you're staying warm if you're out there in the cold, or staying cool if you're in the warm. And Bling's grateful. Yeah, I love drone footage. It's really great to see the bigger picture. True, true. Like I said, you see so much from above looking down. I noticed when I was doing my little short drone footage of my riding a scooter that as I was going through, you can see the dirt holes, the fox holes, and the rabbit holes that are buried in the ground that you don't see, walking down very much, but you can definitely see them from top. Um, Watching from Florida, hope to see you next year in Q. Well, Bill Wright, come on up back then. Q, Florida's nice too, but it's colder in Florida than it has been here. You got iguanas falling from the sky down there. From what I've seen, they're just piles of iguanas falling from the trees. Let's see. Rock and Roll Oregon, has Zen went for a first ride yet? No, he hasn't. We're still working on, like I mentioned. I've got the last of the cart fixtures to finish it out, and then I'm going to continue just getting him in comfortable with it, and then walk him around, and then hopefully he'll be trained enough, or somebody said bribed enough, which that you do bribe your dog with treats, and then maybe we can take off and go. And I think today, like I said, since he went for a long walk today, and if you just came in, his right paw started just giving out on him. And I think he's having shoulder issues because he kind of was walking, then he kind of tripped a little bit, then he started limping. But there's nothing in the paw and nothing in the that I could find on his pads. But when he went to lay down, he was having trouble stretching out his shoulder. So I think he popped something in his shoulder, But I think that would be an indication he needs to ride in his cart. He's getting older, and I'm not getting any younger either. And I can definitely ride on a bike much better than I can walk 5 miles. Anyway, let's say Explorer, hey Tom and Zen, you and Zen have a great day. We've been having a good day. It's been having a good day. Thanks for coming by, Explorer 867. I'm glad to see you're enclosing closed cart for Zen to sit behind you like on a bike. Yeah, yeah. That's the only way I think the best way to put him in, just keep him in a box. And that's that he'll still can jump over it and out, but hopefully when he gets trained that he'll want to sit there. And I do have a short lead that I can put on there and it straps to the bottom of the cart so he can't pull up and jump out. So Marco and say, yep, Portugal been born in 1143 and never had a storm like this before. I bet it would be a mini storm in the U.S. The U.S. has crazy weather, that's for sure, Marco. Um, and it's changing all the time. It's getting different. We're getting no snow in the mountains in a lot of places, and you're getting snow in Florida or places. So it's just odd, but those things happen from time to time. Let's see what else we got on here. Yep. I'm trying to get. I think I'm caught up with everybody so far. I know that when you're doing a chat, it's hard to keep up with the wording because it goes by so fast. And then I'm sorry if I miss anything on saying hi, whatever, anybody, but it goes by real quick when you get several people in here. It says Nomad RV Nomad Dad. Can't wait to see you this spring. Mesa says hi to Zen. Well, hello to Mesa. Hope Mesa is not frozen like a popsicle up there in North Utah. So I don't know what the weather is like up there, but it's got to be a lot colder than down here. Um, yep, Home Depot has carpet samples that you might want to put padding on the Zen cart. Yeah, I've been looking for more. I've got that little pad I showed in the last one of the videos, but it's not much padding there, so I'm thinking of adding more to it. I don't want to add a lot of weight to it, so I want something that's more of a probably like a foam or fluffy things that will not add more weight. But he needs more padding because is he's too big. His body stretches out and it covers a lot of space in there. So let's see, Brian McClure, what's the worst part, or the least fun thing about being a camp host? Good question. Good question. Um, there's several things. Now, I haven't had much problem with it, but I would say the worst thing is, and don't get mad at me because it's going to be people, is the people that come into the camp area and don't know the kind of rules and etiquette of camping, like, quiet at 10 and, no noise and don't leave trash and stuff like that. It's just basically that's going to be about it. It's just people not knowing what the guidelines are and what to follow. And but everybody that's I've had issues with, there've been very few. If it's after 10 o'clock and they've got their TV or their stereo blaring real loud, just go tell them it's quiet hours, turn it off, turn the generator off, and they'll all comply. Because usually, as a camp host, we don't have any authority. We can just suggest and recommend that they do something, and if they don't do it, then we get on the phone and we call our boss, and then they come over and they don't listen to them. Then they call the sheriff, and then it kind of goes up the chain of command. But that's one of the worst things. Now, last season, for you guys who are stick around here, have been around, being in a tent for 3 months, very unusual. But it wasn't that bad until about the last month, and it really started wearing on me. But yep. Let's see what else we got. Um, oh, good. So May says not been a popsicle. That's good. Been completely warm. That's good to hear. Good to hear. When do I start camp hosting again? Um, I need to ask the man that's right above this question, RV Nomad Dad. He's my boss. So, but I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere the second or third week of May. So that's usually the idea. We get there a week or so before we have orientation, and then we get their orientation at about 4 or 5 days before we open the camp. So and that's usually Memorial Weekend is when the camp opens up. So it just depends on what time of the year, the calendar was Memorial Weekend, whether it's the last weekend or the like the 24th or something like that. So, um, yep. So that's when I'll be there, probably about the middle of May. And like I said, depends on here how hot it is before we leave. We'll keep you guys informed as we go through. Let's see. Sooner Travels. You'll be going to camp host or maintenance after the queue. Yes, that's what I just mentioned. When we leave here last year, when I left here, I took 2 months to get 400 miles to go to Utah. So we may do the same thing this year. It just depends on the weather. If it gets too hot, we'll be leaving early and working our way up towards higher ground and cooler temperatures. Um, let's see. Aunt Bling, I would think one of the good parts about being a camp host is all the free stuff left behind. True, true. There is a lot of free stuff left behind, and the people, again, that come up and they are there every season. I have people that come up every season in the campground and they know all the stuff going on. They bring all the food and all the friendship, and they feed everybody and they feed me. As you know, feed a camp host month is July, because that's when everybody shows up and has a lot of extra food, and I'm grateful to help them, get rid of it. So, and they do leave some free stuff behind. Some of it's damaged and some of it's not, but a lot of it is just if they don't need it, if they're, especially if they're traveling and they can't take it with them, like if they're overseas or flying back, then they'll leave stuff there because they can't take it back and they can't afford to send it back. And a lot of places like the Cedar City Walmart, which is the closest Walmart in the area, does not take returns on camping gear because of people coming into the area, getting camping gear, going camping, and then return it after they were done with it. So Walmart does not take returns on outdoor camping gear for that season. So that's just something to know. If you're going to Cedar City, don't go to Walmart and expect to get returned. You won't. Lloyd Baker, how's the bus been running? Been running pretty good. I shouldn't say that because you know what'll happen next. It'll quit running. But no, it's been running pretty good. It's been starting every time I go, and I haven't driven it too far. We went to Schoolipalooza and last month, and we made 40 miles round trip. So, but it ran fine. Ran fine. Starts right up and goes, and I go to town now and get my groceries. Come back out. Starts up. Come back out here and start it up. And so it's right now. It's running pretty good. We'll see what happens. I plan on taking it back to my mechanic in Cedar City, and maybe at the end of the camping season in September or October, and just maybe do a little maintenance on it. But other than that, and see what happens. But it's running pretty good. Now, hopefully, knock on wood, if I can find some wood, it doesn't break down this year. Because I did tell my boss last year that I do want to go through a camping season in Utah, at least one season with my bus there the entire season. So that's my plan. 2 seasons I have not had the bus there the entire season. So maybe the third is the charm. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I felt so bad. I was forever to get. Oh yeah, yeah. Um, I felt even worse. It was a good time for the first week or two. Then after the delay of the news of getting the part for the bus was going to be from 1 week to 8 weeks, uh, yeah, everything just kind of just sank down and kind of takes a toll on you. But I was happy to get the bus back too, and I know Steve, my mechanic, was happy to get the bus off his lot because it had basically taken roots in his backyard or back property. Um, yep, Lloyd Baker, the e-brake still working fine. It just maybe that part will last 20 years like the other one did. So we'll see what happens. I'll I won't know in 20 years because I probably won't have the bus or what's going on. Let's see what else is there. How hard it was to register the bus in Arizona? Piece of cake. It really easy, easy. I was really surprised. I had it registered in Arkansas as a motorhome. So when came time to renew my license here in Arizona and decided to become an Arizona resident, I drove the bus to Parker, which was the nearest motor vehicle office, and got my driver license just like that for who knows. I think it's 5 or 6 years. Arizona has different licensing too. So I know I think if you're under 25 or under, if you get a license like 18, it's good for like 50 years. It's unusual. It's crazy. And then when you get older, I think 65, you have to renew it every 5 or 6 years. So, but I got my license right away and then turned my paperwork in and gave my address, all of my information and different things. And I had to have the bus inspected here in Arizona by the state police because it was out of state title. And the only inspection was they were verification of the VIN number. And so I did that, scheduled that, and had that done about a month later. And in the meantime, they gave me temporary tags. And then when I had it done in Havasu, the policeman came out and I said, "Well, here it is. You need to see anything inside? You want to look inside?" He goes, "Nope, don't need to. I just need to see what the VIN number is." And so I showed him the VIN number and he wrote a couple things down. In 15 minutes, I was done. And then walked around front. 30 minutes, I had tags. And pretty easy. And I got a personalized license plate, as you've seen, the TomandZen license plate. And for 2 years with the personalized license plate, $85. Yeah, without the personal license plate, the 2 years would have been about $35. Yeah, or something like that, about $40. Really super cheap. I was amazed. Um, let's see what else. Explorer 6867. We haven't had winter here in Central Oregon so far. Temps have been in the high 50s for low mid 20s. No snow on the ground. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Um, I got a friend of mine going to be heading to Oregon to be a camp host this summer. So um, it's going to be interesting. I want to get to Oregon one of these days. Again, I was there 10 years ago and did a drive through, went to Portland and down the coast and things. It's a pretty beautiful area. Um, let's see. Yep. Um, Nomad Dad Explorer. That's my backyard. Yeah, I think Nomad Dad. He is from Oregon, so he knows that area. So for sure. What are the challenges of being a dad to Great Pyrenees? It has a lot of challenges, and it's just like having a child. It's just they're kind of they're hard headed, stubborn. They're um, but they're great dogs, great dogs. And the biggest thing is it's probably been, I would say, the amount of fur that comes off. If you have a problem with dog fur, don't get a Great Pyrenees because you're going to have dog fur everywhere in everything forever. Yeah, there's going to be when he's gone, who knows when. I'm going to have dog fur in everything I own for years. But it's been a pleasure having a Great Pyrenees, that's for sure. But they're so gentle and calm and just a big gentle giant, big fluff dog. Yep. Mr. Ed, I'll be in queue next week for an event. Would like to stop by and say hi afterwards. You're welcome to. I'm out here in the desert. Just send me if you want to stop by. Send me an email when you're in the area, and I'll give you some coordinates on the email of where I'm at if you don't know where I'm already at. But swing by. We're out here in the desert. Let's see. Aunt Bling, can you give a little summary of your life that led to choosing the freedom of living on the road? Yeah, that's that's hard to put in um, a little summary. Um, that what led me to it. I did a little bit on that when I did my RV, a cheap RV living um, video tour. I did a little bit of the explanation why, and that's pretty much what I was doing. I had basically burned myself out into the restaurant I had, and I got divorced, and a lot of personal things came up, and I just needed to get away from the little town I was in for the last 37 years and just get out. And it just came to me like best way to get away is to buy a bus and get away. And I did. Not that short a term, but I did some research before I jumped into the bus, and but I like traveling. I like being a lot of times out by myself and doing my own thing, and but I just needed to get away from my comfort zone that I was in, and got too way too comfort, and too much mundane of doing the same thing over and over every day, which I'm doing the same thing out here. You know, I'm kind of hanging around the desert and do our thing, but it's just a different atmosphere for me, and that's the reason why um, the short summary of getting out on the road and choosing the road. But that's yeah. I don't know if there's much else to that. Basically, it's just the freedom to get out and do things, and like I said, just for me to get away from everything and start. I don't say start a life over again, but kind of renew my feelings of nature and getting out and just and take care of myself. Um, a lot of it is just you're taking care of yourself. You know, get away from all the stress and the problems you have around with others and the location you're in, and just kind of get out into your new comfort zone. I lost my there it is. Oop, let me see what happens here. There you go. Oh, I lost my screen again. Here we go. Oh, here now we're back. Uh, Oregon, beautiful. I lived in White City for years. It is beautiful. I haven't been. I don't know where White City is, but like I said, I just went through Portland. And we did kind of the L over and then down. So Portland was a pretty city back 10 years ago. I don't know what it looks like now, but I mean, sure, it's still got its good parts and bad parts as any city does. But I like Portland. Portland was nice, and the whole area to there. I do remember driving for seemed like days, and I think was it might explain to people in Oregon, was it the Hood River? Is that the long river that goes through and you follow it? I can't remember, but it was we followed this river for like hours upon hours upon hours. But it was a beautiful area. Um, Jana Fulton, hello TomandZen, I love your videos. Well, thank you much, Jana. I'm glad you do, and we kind of just like to make things how life is. You know, once in a while it's kind of goofy, and sometimes it's kind of serious. So, and just what our videos are is a lot of times it's just us doing our own thing. You know, hanging around, and sometimes it's hate to say this, but sometimes it could be a little bit videos out of boredom. You just need something to do and put out a video that makes no sense. I mean, that's what you can do when you have the opportunity to. So the Columbia River. Oh, that's the river. Okay, I think for some reason I thought the Hood River, but it like I said, it's been so many years ago. But I remember the river went on for forever, forever. I think I did see the Columbia River in Washington State when I was there several years ago, um, over on the towards Spokane, and that's the Columbia River. So, uh, beautiful area, beautiful. Let's see, did I miss something here? I'm gonna check back. Oh, Vivian, what kind of tow vehicle would you be good for your bus to pull? Something very light. My bus is not very powerful. It's got the small engine in it. It's a pickup engine in it, and it doesn't like pulling things up mountains. Does great on the highways. I could drive all through Kansas and all through the Midwest all day long, pulling something at 70 miles an hour. But you put a little mountain grade in there, and we're down to 20 miles an hour. So something very light. I was thinking maybe like most all the people have an outdoor out, out of four-wheel drive or off-road vehicle like a Suzuki Sidekick or a Geo Tracker or a smart car or Ford Ranger, something manual. I don't have to have anything crazy. I don't need nothing special. The manual will tow better because you just throw it in neutral and let it roll. And I don't need four-wheel drive and don't need front-wheel drive because Well, that would be okay too, I guess, if it's a manual. But just something light. But I am thinking about when I go back to Utah this summer in the spring is stopping by Fab Rats. You've maybe seen me wear my Fab Rat shirt. They do a YouTube channel. They do um, fabrication on cars and different things and vehicles, and have them look at my rear band of Walden to see if I can get a tow hitch on there because they're they're located about 30 minutes from where my camp is, so they're not very far away. And a tow hitch would have to be custom made on this bus because I got a 100-gallon fuel tank that is encased with steel, and it's covered up the entire frame, and it's just a big mess under there. And there's tow hooks, and it's going to be custom. It's going to have to be fabbed for sure. But we'll look into that later. But I'm hoping to get at some point, maybe like I said, maybe a small lightweight vehicle. And I think like a smart car even weighs like 1,800 pounds. So bus would pull that, but it may slow me down going up hills. But just something I have to work with. Let's see here. Yep, that's right. Aunt Bling, a fresh start does make a difference. Um, let's see. I lost my. This is. Hold on a second. We're getting there. I may have to go back to my screen. I think my battery's. No, I got 50%. So come on. There it is. Oh, no, it's there. Anyway, go back on here and see what it says. If you're traveling from Washington, you're on the north side. Okay, yeah, so we did travel years ago. Went through that in the Columbia River. I don't know why this thing just keep going off. Okay, here we go. Bend, Oregon is the best place for nomads, free camping and breathtaking. I've heard about Bend, Oregon. I think they have a bus fare up there in Bend, and I looked on the map, and uh, it's not too far. I think it's south of Portland and kind of Eugene and this way, kind of like that. But I like to get to Bend one of these days. It looks like a pretty beautiful place. Oh, nothing but green and water and everything else. It's a beautiful area. Let's see, Bend, Oregon. Yep. Oh, there's. I love heading over the Burns and driving south. And French Glen, great campground over there. Page Springs, friends with the host. Yep. RV Nomad Dad, you've been all around Oregon. It's a beautiful state for sure. Sooner Travels. Yeah, Campless Man has a Suzuki he said he would sell. Yeah, yeah, he's still here. I met David last season when I left here. Um, but someone else asked me about that Suzuki, and I think it's a little bit. He'd be probably wanting a little bit more than I want to pay for one right now. Um, but it looks a pretty good vehicle. I mean, I saw it up close, and I think it'd be fine. But and it doesn't. I can't remember if his was set up for a tow already or not, with the tow hooks in front. I don't know, but I wouldn't mind getting one like he's doing and just keep it down here, and just that way I've got one to drive while I'm here in the desert because I'm here in this area more than I'm out on the road. So, I mean, if I had one put in storage, then I could drive it when the bus is here and just do a small vehicle just in the desert. It's something to keep. I'm keeping track of. Let's see. Bend, Oregon is really pretty. Yep, like I said, I haven't been there, but it looks pretty on video and pictures I've seen for sure, for sure. Who else here? Lady Ferns. Hey, Tom and Zen. Hey, Angie and Tara. We're trying to catch up on this. I'm gonna have to go back to my screen here because my iPad has stopped again. Oh, let's see. I think it's sold. Did he leave already? I don't think he left already. He may have. I don't know. Last video he was still here, but I don't know if he's gone or not. but he was driving the vehicle then, and so I don't know whether he is still using it or not. Uh, I'm trying to refresh my iPad so I can see what's going on without staring at the screen too much. But my screen is not doing it. Glad to see you doing it live. Yeah, Angie, I'm trying to see how it goes and get things kind of coordinated. So I'll get with you guys and we'll try to do a combined live before we get out of the area this season, and that'd be kind of cool. I'm ready to do that. And I know one thing though: don't use an iPad because this one, sorry, bad shape. I don't know what happened to it. I lost all my chat. Anyway, go on here and see what happens. Um, did I miss something? Would love to watch Zen sitting co-pilot in a smart car. Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? It's about the same size as a small car. Smart car too. I did see a smart car here a couple weeks ago. I talked to the man about it. He was towing it behind a Mercedes Sprinter, and he had an off-road smart car. He had it lifted and had tires on it. It looked pretty cool, but um, something I really wouldn't need for an off-road, but he does. And he said it weighs like 2,100 pounds, and his Mercedes Sprinter pulled it without any problem. So um, I'm going to try to get into this YouTube again. Hold on a second here on the screen because I'm losing stuff on here. Yep, we'll love to do it live with you, Lady Ferns. Yep, we'll figure that out before we get out of here. And there is Tara. Hi, Nitty and Nomad. Hey, she's got her own conversation going on there. Hi, the Nitty Nomad. Yep, Lori. Let's see, I don't know who else I've got in here. We're gonna let's see here. I'm gonna try to sign back into this area and see what happens. I watch a variety of YouTubers, YouTube nomads. Do you have any favorite that you want to mention? Lady Ferns, they're on here. Go watch him. Uh, and I want to hear about, and I'm sure we'll see about the lost GoPro here soon. I want to see that. I want to see this footage of this thing laying on the road and people driving over top of it. So that's going to be exciting. But Lady Nomad, the Lady Ferns, yeah, Lady Ferns is great. I like watching them. And in the area, I do Campless Man. He's in the area, at least he was. And Nomadic Dream, Herbie, he's somewhere in this area driving around now. He's got that bus, so he's out. And oh, who else do I watch? There's a few. Um, I watched one guy called Jeep Scamp. I just he's very interesting. He drives a Jeep and he pulls a scamp, Jeep Scamp. He puts out videos every about once a month, but he never speaks in them. He never talks. He does some narration. I think he uses AI for things, and I think he writes his own narration. But it's really good. He does a lot of camera angles, and he's a traveling medical person, so he travels every 3 months. And but I watch him because it's just really interesting, and he's getting better every time with his videos for sure as we go through there. And okay, yeah, I lost my internet on my iPad. Can't quite reach. Let me see what else we got on here. Let's see. That'll be a fun video to make. It would be a fun video to make. Sooner you watch James Camp also. Isn't he interesting? I like watching his videos because it's really interesting what he does. And like I said, just his camera angles and the amount of time that he puts into a video. Because the last one I watched, he had him walking from the Grand Canyon edge to the campground. He must have had 20 or 25 different camera angles. So he was either got multiple cameras or doing lots of running back and forth, moving the camera. And if you don't know about when you're doing multiple angles, if people who are on YouTube know that you have to go ahead and take a picture back or go back behind, take a picture forward, and then you have to put it all together. So you've got a lot of exercise sometimes in running a video thing. So um, see whatever. See. Yes, yes. Thank goodness their pro was rescued, and thanks for Destiny Travels for getting it for you. I've seen her on Facebook, but I haven't never have met her, but I've seen that name many, many times. Yep, that is a especially if your GoPro. It's like losing your wallet. All your information you need is on your GoPro, and that would be just tragic to lose something like that. Especially if you're into video. Yep, yep. Very, very nice to get their GoPro back. That is for sure. And we're going to see here. I think next time I do this, I'll have to move closer to the bus where my internet is. Where is Zen? He is under the bus. If you just a minute, I'll let me zoom around here. Did we miss Zen on the live? No, he's here. He is just, he is under there. Can you see him? We went on a long walk and he hurt his paw or started limping. And so he's just in there resting. Usually he'll come out, especially, if he sees dad talking to himself, he'll come out and go like, "Is you talking to yourself again, Dad?" But now usually he's after we go for a walk when we get in the afternoon, he'll be under the bus for an hour, hour and a half, and just camp out for a while. So, but he's there. He's doing fine. Besides limping a little bit, and see what happens. I'll keep my eye on it. I think it's his shoulder because he kind of stumbled walking to get our mail, and then he started limping, and then when he went to lay down, he's having some issues stretching out that leg. So I think he did something in the shoulder, but he's I see him moving around. Nope, he just stretched out. That's all he did. But yep, let's see here. I'm trying to get this camera going. Whoop. Sorry, guys. Bear with me on this live. We'll go in a different angle. Um, it's a warm day. It is pretty warm today. And when you're wearing a double fur coat and you're walking in 80-degree weather, he needs cool for sure. Yep, he's got about 10 happy spots, and they're uh, it's going to take some landscaping to get these things back filled back up when he leaves. I think he kind of perked up because I see a dog walking over there. The neighbor's dog is walking around, but he hadn't moved. He's still under the bus. Yeah, getting old. He's going on 7, and so that's a pretty good age for Pyrenees. And they do have hip and joint problems when they get older, and they only live to be 8 to 12 years old on the average. So he's I'm sorry to say, but he's kind of pushing that upper limits on some things. But there are chiropractors who will adjust animals. I've seen that. I've seen that. Um, he may have to do something because when he was a puppy about 6 months old, he had the same issue. He started limping really bad on the right side, and we took him to the vet. And the vet said that his bones are growing faster than his plates or something like that, and he was causing issues. It lasted about a month, and he quit limping. So, um, but I don't know. But I'm keeping an eye on him. He's on the glucosamine, and so for the joint things, we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, he's on it. I'm on it. So we'll see what happens. But my knee's been feeling better. Hopefully his joints are feeling better. But I'm trying to get this iPad. No internet connection. Yep. Outdoorsy gal. Hi from Colorado. We have great Pyrenees in the family. Sweetest dogs ever. Boy, you know that right. They are the sweetest dogs ever. Hello from Colorado. Um, are you getting snow out there? I hope you are, because I think the mountains need snow and need water and skiing, from what I understand. But um, I have to get back to Colorado. I haven't been to Colorado in a couple of years, but I have to get back out that way. So it's a beautiful, beautiful state. So well, let's see. What let's say? Yeah, and I actually have land in Colorado too, which I'll have to get out there sometime and at some point again. And that's going to be my home base when I retire. I'm not ready to retire yet, but we'll get that way. Um, and Aunt Bling, have you thought about getting a Wi-Fi booster? Well, interesting you mentioned that. Look what I got today. Oh, I got a high boost cell phone booster. It won't really boost Wi-Fi, but it'll help my cell phone system. And I've been wanting one of those for a couple, 3 years, ever since I've been on the road. So we'll see what happens. I'll let everybody know about that when I get it hooked up and see how it's working because it's going to be a little time consuming of getting everything ready. But yeah, I got a cell phone booster, which would come in really handy in Utah because my campground has no cell phone reception unless you have a booster. Then you have one or two bars. So we'll see what happens with that. That's going to be the test. Right down here in Quartzsite, it's not bad because the nearest tower is probably a mile and a half away. And it's not bad now, but when the show was going on, it was awful. As anybody who's in the Quartzsite area knows, that there was not much going on when you have another uh, boost of thousands of people using their cell phone signals. And so, get a little close to here since my iPad. Have you thought about? Yep, we are not. Are you not getting snow up there? It could be about stout. It's almost 60 degrees in Colorado. Wow, that's unusual. That is unusual. First time catching live from Wyoming. This is my first time to be live. So, hey, everybody, I'm glad you're catching me from all over the place. This is my first time. We'll try to work on this and do maybe one every week or so. And I'm thinking like on Tuesday, like a Tom Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, there's a little bit into getting live as um, Lady Ferns knows. You kind of you got it makes a schedule. Then you have to kind of stick to that schedule. But we do want to keep. I do want to keep everybody informed what's going on out there. So if I next time I do a live, I'll post it a couple of days ahead of time so people will know that when it's going to be ready to go um, live. Let's see. Have you seen any wolves at campground in Utah? And Truckee has been seeing gray wolves. Oh, Truckee, California. No, I have not seen any wolves in gray in that area. There's, from what I understand, there are bears, mountain lions, and bobcats in that area, but I haven't seen any of the three. So, but a lot of times you won't see them, but they'll see you. So I'm not for sure what is up there in that area. But no, I haven't seen any wolves, and I haven't seen any coyotes up there. Maybe it's too high. It's 9,200 feet elevation. Maybe too high for coyotes. I'm not for sure. Woo! First live. You're doing great. Well, thank you, Angie. So we'll go on that. Yep, almost 60 in Wyoming too. Wow, it's crazy weather. Maybe that's the reason why everybody down here is leaving because the weather's been so warm on this side of the country. My neighbor just left this afternoon. He's going to Alaska. So he's got a job up there. He's heading towards Alaska. So he's going north too. Hey, congrats on lifetime. I'm afraid to do that. Yeah, I was afraid to do it too because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. But once you get on there, kind of mess with it, and Lady Ferns will know too. They're going to give me some pointers when we do that. But we're going to try to do a live combined with Lady Ferns before we all leave this season. So that'll be fun. We'll do that. But it takes a little bit of getting up to, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to read the screen and then how to do my iPad, which is not working. Again, no internet connection, like I said.
So I'm having to read the screen, so I'm kind of squinting in, and if I get too close, I got to use my bifocals. All that stuff you do when you get older. And then, but you can do everything on here. Like I said, I can actually, you know, point the camera the other way. There's the cart, and then microphone and different things. And but I'll get with them, and we'll figure out how all this works. And when I get to a point, I'll get a moderator or two added in here to help me with seeing what's going on, and hopefully my iPad down here will be able to connect, and I'll be able to read bigger than trying to find that. I need a big screen TV. I need something this big that I can read on. Congrats. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh, how long did it take you to get used to the elevation without feeling a bit sick? I'm gonna say the elevation for Utah for the 9,200 feet. Uh, the first time I went up there, I left from here and drove 2 days. Yeah, I basically went from here to. I spent one night, 2 nights to get to Cedar City, which is Cedar City is about 5,600 feet elevation. It wasn't bad, but when I got to my campground, 9,200 feet, um, it wasn't bad. It takes about 2 weeks for me to kind of balance things out on the lightheadedness and things. And last season when I left here, it took me 2 months to go up there. So I had a lot longer to get at a shorter distance to kind of stair step my way up. And it took me a lot less time to get used to that higher elevation. And so, and if you have like heart conditions and stuff, you're not supposed to go above 8,000 feet. So a lot of people can't get up there in the high area without having issues. Um, Even wandering Jeepsy, you ever seen Watch Her? My friend Sarah, she's got little one, and little one, her dog has heart issues, and she can't take her dog over 8,000 feet elevation because there's too much issue with the heart. So she kind of watches that too. So I took elevation sickness pills, went to Peru, Machu Picchu. My daughter went to Machu Picchu and Peru, I think last year. I can't keep up with her. She's going every season. They go off and disappear for 2 months, and then just do stuff all over the world. And her and her husband go through, and they both work for the school system, and they have all summers off. So, but she was in Peru last summer. It looked totally awesome, but it was, I'm not for sure, 10, 11, 12,000 feet, something like that. But she lives in New Mexico at 7,700 feet elevation, so she's already up there. So she kind of gets used to that area. Um, like your drone shots as well, I would crash in the mountains. But I haven't crashed mine yet, but and I'm still learning how to do it. I was trying to work on it yesterday, and I thought to do a GPS follow, so I set it on GPS follow. Then I put the controller just in my backpack, and I didn't realize that when I put it in the backpack that the wiggle hands would push, and then I looked in the screen and my drone was gone, and it landed somewhere, and I couldn't find it where it was. Like, and so I took it back out and started it back up and got it up in the air, and then hit home, and it was only a few hundred yards from where I took off, and it landed somewhere in the desert. But when it's in the backpack, it took off. That's as close as I've got it so far of having an issue with it. So, but it's getting the hang of it, and it's so lightweight, a half a pound drone that it doesn't take much wind for it to just do this, and it's hard. And I have the worst problem forgetting to take off the camera cover when I go to fly it. I take it off and I'm flying across the desert, and watching where it's going, and I'm going like, why is that picture so kind of yellow looking? The camera cover's still on it. So um, got to do my pre-flight checks. Let's see what else here. See, wow, we've already been online for 66 minutes. Time goes by faster when you're on live. That is for sure. Can you do a GPS on your drone through your phone? Yes, yes. Maybe through Bluetooth. My my screen is my controller monitor on the GPS on the drone. So, and the app does GPS follow, and it actually the drone will not even do anything until it connects to GPS. So it's just everything's dead, and when it connects GPS, then it fires off and goes. Um, so it's all done through GPS, and anywhere from who knows 15, 20, 30 satellites all at once. It picks them up. We took field elevation sickness when in Peru, Machu Picchu. And get a little closer here. You no longer sense fizz and beer or pop. Do you have experiences like that? Not really, not really. Um, that maybe if you go too fast in higher elevation, you might. I know that um, if you're drinking like alcohol, like beer, I think at the higher elevation, your blood's thinner, so you got to be careful on that. It kind of thins out your amount of oxygen in your blood. Okay, over an hour is too long. Yep, it's right. Because like I said, I don't know how far it went. It just took off and went. So on this live, so I think what we'll do is take Jerry Price information is and say try to end this live and try to keep them under an hour. But like I said, I got see the point on top. It says live 68 minutes. So we need to end this. And so we'll do that. We'll say thanks everybody for coming on the first ever live Tom and Zen. Sorry, it's just Tom, but Zen is he hasn't moved at all. He's still under the bus, cooling down, and we'll continue on another one probably next week and see what happens, and continue on a live and make things work. But thanks everybody for joining us on this. Like I said, this first live, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And thanks for everybody watching. I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. I think if I do this, all right. See you guys. I think I hit the X and we're gone. Do you want to